Folks, welcome to a very special edition of videos from Shadow and Friends Gaming. We're actually going to do our first ever discussion on the web series at this point, Helluva Boss. And I'm going to be your moderator. I'm Warwolf. I voice Sonic the Hedgehog, Eggman Nega, Mario, and Johnny from Sonic Rush.
And Whisker.
And I occasionally will step in for any voices we need at the time if we don't have one. For example, I did a very British and stiff upper lip sounding version of Knuckles that makes very little sense when we did the Sonic animation video a while back. And we've got some other people here. Now we got a few other people who are going to be joining us. But right now, here's our current roundtable. God damn it, Shadow, what did you do?
What?
You paused the stream.
No, the stream's still going.
Weird.
Yeah.
All right.
I think
so, folks, so we're going to go around the table. We're going to go at this point. I think we'll go by age, since I know for a fact I am the oldest here. Shadow is the second oldest. So, Shadow, tell us who you are, and then we'll move on to the next oldest person.
All right. Well, you all may know me as Chaos Control 294. I voice Shadow the Hedgehog on my videos, and I voiced my OC Scarlet the Hedgehog for the streams. So if you notice the difference in voice, Scarlet is more a bit of a higher pitch, while Shadow's more of a deep and edgy kind of guy.
Dude.
What?
A little too much. You don't need to go that in deep. We just need to know who you voice, and then pass it on to the next person. So who is our next oldest person here?
I think it's Ruby. I don't know.
Well, there you go. So, Ruby, tell us a little bit about who we're dealing with here.
Hi, my name is Ruby Rose. I've done voice acting for a while now, for about 5 to 6 years. I mostly voice Tails the Fox. Hi. And mostly Amy Rose, which you probably know. I do occasionally do, I occasionally do Rouge, but I rarely get to do her. But, yeah, it's really nice to be here. Thanks, guys.
Well, we're glad you're here joining us. And our next one should be our buddy Wario here, I think. So, Wario, tell us about yourself. Or at least tell us who you are.
Hello. I play as Wario. And I've been acting for several years, at least since high school. And I've been doing voice acting only recently. But since voice acting is an extension of acting in a play, I guess you could say I have plenty of, so to speak.
All right,
and I'm happy to be here.
Okay, guys. Keep it short and sweet. We want to give everybody a chance to introduce themselves. So our next one is, I guess, would be Eddie.
Yo, my name is Eddie. I don't voice act nobody. I'm just the thumbnail artist, and I like Pokemon and Spider-Man, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Short and sweet, nice. And finally, we got Angie. Angie, tell us who you voice.
Hi, I'm Angie. I voice act as Jewel, Cosmo, Cream, and Tailsko.
Very cool. All right, so, and yes, for those of you who did embellish yourselves, that's fine. Just try to keep it short and sweet next time. But anyway, so yeah, we're here discussing Helluva Boss. Now, this series has been around since technically 2019, which is when the pilot launched. And you're going to be hearing some stuff in the background there because Wario keeps forgetting to turn on his noise suppression.
Yeah, sorry about that, everyone.
Yeah. You might have to move to a different room if it keeps getting too noisy over there. But yeah, so the show we're discussing is Helluva Boss. It is a spin-off from the series Has Been Hotel. The series focuses on Blitz Buxo, and yes, that is his last name.
Seriously? I never knew that.
It was actually introduced in the second season opener, but we will get to that. So, for those of you who are seeing our overlay here, Blitz will be on the right-hand side of your screen, he is the one with the very, very large horns and the very snazzy outfit and the spikes coming out of his back. He is roughly, by the standards of Hell, he is around 36 to 37-ish. However, because they have established that Hell works on a sliding time scale, he is roughly around 370 by Earth standards. Also, who did we just lose? I think we just lost Eddie.
Yeah, I think we lost Eddie.
Yeah, hopefully he'll be back. So, my guess is he's laughing too hard at Blitz's last name. But so next we have Moxie and Millie. Moxie is on the immediate left of Blitz. He's armed with the other firearm that we see here. And he is married to Millie, who is right above him and is the one wielding the giant-ass polearm, which I think is actually an axe, but it could be a scythe. I'm not really sure exactly off the top of my head.
I think it might be a scythe.
No, that's an axe. I just pulled out my magnifying glass. That's an axe.
Oh.
Now, in the immediate background, believe it or not, that is Blitz's adopted daughter, Luna. So yes, she would have theoretically inherited the last name once she was adopted, so she is officially Luna Buxo.
Right.
Now, these are the main characters of our show. We also have a number of secondary characters who will be reoccurring members of the cast. This includes Stolas of the Ars Goetia, who is based on real-life demon mythology. Stolas' wife, Stella, who is not from any known mythology. And their daughter, who likewise is a show original creation, Octavia. And then we have a number of tertiary characters who pop up throughout pretty much the entire series. Some have been semi-recurring, or at the very least have been set up to become semi-recurring characters. And we'll discuss that as we go throughout the show. So the basic premise of the show is that these four work as an assassination team, where if somebody in Hell, welcome back, Eddie, if somebody in Hell feels like they've been screwed over or just want revenge on somebody from when they were alive, they will hire the crew here, who call themselves the Immediate Murder Professionals.
Or IMP for short.
Or specifically IMP for short, because it could go either way. Most people would just read it as IMP.
Yep.
Typically, it is a three-man team, which is usually Blitz, Moxie, and Millie. Luna has occasionally gone with them for an occasional trip, but so far that's only happened twice and only once on an actual job. But again, we'll get to that as we go. So, first off, I'm assuming everybody here has seen the pilot.
We have.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. So, any particular impressions about the pilot or the characters that stick out in your mind? Let's go around the table here and see. I'll give my impressions last, since I'm basically running as moderator. So again, I mean, whoever wants to go first, I mean, go ahead and let's hear what you think.
I'll go first. So I'm gonna be on the pilot. The pilot I really liked. It's just it was really entertaining, and it really invests you on like what they're supposed to be doing, and I really like how like the pilot is like, really like,
an introduction for the characters, which is pretty standard for a pilot. Yes.
Yeah, and also I think the pilot is the most funniest episode, even though it's the pilot.
That is personal. That is perfectly valid. Everybody's going to have their own favorite episode for whatever reason, whether it's because it's the funniest or what have you.
Yeah, and the characters in the pilot, I really like them. They're all charming, and the voice acting is really good. And yeah, that's what I basically like about it.
Yeah, well, there you go. So who's next?
I could go next.
Go for it.
All right. So my view on the pilot, it was honestly, excuse my language, pretty fucking hilarious.
Well, we're not going to sprout on language here.
Oh, really?
Swear to your heart's content. I don't care.
Fuck, fuckity, fuck.
You've been watching the Angry Video Game Nerd and the Nostalgia Critic, haven't you?
Curiosity.
Mostly.
I thought so.
But
So,
anyways, like I was
go
trying
ahead.
to say, the pilot was honestly a really nice introduction on like what they do, how their job is like, how they treat each other at work. Like fucking when Luna is like always bullying Moxie. Which honestly,
which is hilarious because when you consider that she's younger than him.
Yeah, but I would probably do the same if I was in Luna's perspective. I would have probably done the same to like some of my friends. But above all, although what really disappoints me is like they didn't stick with the original Stolas voice.
That was I'm trying to remember. There was something where he was accused potentially of something. Now, I believe he has since been cleared of those accusations, but he decided to step away from the role so this way it wouldn't cause any problems going forward for the team at Spindlehorse, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and I mean, they've done an amazing job animating the first pilot, which we can see throughout how the web series progresses. Like, obviously, there were some changes in different voices, like Millie's, for example, but above all, the main of the three of them, which is Luna and Moxie and Blitz, were still the same voice actors, except for Stolas and Millie.
Yeah, and the ironic thing is that Millie was originally voiced by Erica Lindbeck, who also voices Luna, and she was the only character that Erica dropped. So she's still voicing Luna, and I'm trying to. It's like Vivian something or other. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Vivian? You mean like the creator of the show?
No. It's another Vivian. Give me a minute here. I'm gonna look that up. But
while you do that, what really like made me really excited for the series was that Brandon motherfucking Rogers voices
Vivian
as
Nixon.
Blitz.
Vivian Nixon is the woman who took
Millie
Millie from episode 1 up.
Ah, really?
Yeah. So that's that's because I knew it was a Vivian something, but yeah. Because speaking of Madrana, we'll get to her in a little bit because there's actually she actually does voice 2 minor roles in the show.
Yeah, but above all, the pilot hilarious. The animation and like how the characters reacts. It's a great way to introduce these really fun and energetic characters to a brand new spin-off web series, which honestly I mean,
at this point, Helluva Boss might as well be the main series at this point. Let's be
I
honest.
don't blame them if Helluva Boss is the main series instead of Has-Been Hotel.
Especially because it's taken so long for us to even get anything about what's going on with Has-Been. But again, that's something we'll get on to. But so this point, I'm trying to think. I believe Eddie has talked about his thoughts on the pilot.
I haven't talked yet.
So go for it, Shadow. Let's see what you have.
So when I first saw the pilot, I was just slowly seeing what the series was about. But the main reason I liked the pilot was, you know how everyone loves it. It's Luna. Luna was one of the reasons why I enjoyed the pilot. I mean, he was basically showing how
Let's be honest, just about everybody's a simp for Luna at this point.
But when about Moxie, when I first heard Moxie's voice, I came to thinking, why does that voice sound familiar? Then I thought, that reminds me of Chaos and Billy, when was the two of the kids that this guy voiced.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, a lot of people are probably going to pick, Moxie out as the voice of Invader Zim, but a lot of people may not remember that he's actually the vocal talent behind Alpha 5 from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, which was the one that mattered more to me because that was right around when I was still like in my early teens.
Mighty Morphin was amazing back then.
Yeah, that's several things. But yeah, no, I mean, Moxie is kind of an interesting character. He's gone through a couple of modifications to his personality as the series has gone on. And I still find it hilarious. It's like, again, you're looking at somebody who's like by Hell's years, they were looking at like two individuals in their late 20s. Of course, Moxie and Millie I'm referring to here, as they're about 27. And he's basically just getting run roughshod over by Luna, who is like 5 years younger. So you got to remember, though, Hell works on a very unique time scale. According to Vivian Medrano, the creator of the series, 1 year in Hell is equivalent to roughly 10 years or so on Earth. So
Wow.
I'm rounding it down to about 10 years because that's a more logical equivalent.
But yeah, the pilot
Simply
was
because
pretty funny.
Stolas is a character who first appears in demon mythology right around the late 17 to early 1800s. So that kind of makes sense that since he's only a couple of hundred years old in real life mythology, that they're trying to keep it to a relatively similar time scale with in Hell, where he's basically around 36, 37 in the course of the show. But by our standards, he's around 370 to 400 years old. So this is also true of Blitz, who's right around his 370s. Moxie and Millie are around their 270s, and Luna is 220. So, like I said, she's the youngest of the group.
Well, yeah, she is. But from what I've heard, she was like, I thought she was like around in like Hell years. I thought she would be like around like 19 to like 20 years old.
A lot of people thought that because of the way she's depicted, but according to they did like a webcast or something. I forget exactly what it was, like a Q&A live stream. And they revealed she is 22.
She's 22? Oh my god.
The character, the character, she is 5 years younger than Millie and Moxie. Or at the very least, Millie. We don't know how old Moxie is, but if they're around the same general age, and I think they probably are, they're both 27. So that'd put them around 270 in Earth years. So again, Luna's about 220, or excuse me, 220 would be correct. And Blitz is in his like 360s to 370s.
But yeah, Luna can also be a little short-tempered in the pilot as well.
Well, that hasn't particularly changed too much in the rest of the series, but we haven't heard from Angie yet about the pilot. So, what did you think?
I freaking loved the pilot. I mean, the interactions of like these characters. I had a laugh out of that, especially with like Moxie and Luna's.
Don't laugh too hard. We still need you alive for this.
Basically, Luna took Moxie's sandwich out of the fridge, and then Luna just
that wasn't even a sandwich. That was that weird avocado.
Avocado
salad. And I also loved like Moxie and Blitz's reaction and interaction.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's fair. Like the time like Blitzo interrupted like him and Mox.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's fine. So Wario, what do you think about this? We haven't heard from you yet. Wario,
I haven't seen the pilot in weeks, but I do remember it being really good. And let's see. I was kind of shocked when I first thought about the ages of the characters, because I expected from Luna's acting that she would be 20 and not 22. I also kind of liked the interactions they had.
Hey,
nice. And we have just hang on before you go in there, Rosary. We just have another one of our friends who is going to be joining in. This is Dorito. Dorito.
Hello.
He's a backup VA for Wario. I believe you also voiced one or two other characters. Who do you voice, buddy boy?
Just Wario.
Just him?
Yes. Just Wario.
Well, there you go. So, Dorito, we just started discussing the pilot. We've introduced our viewers to our main characters, and we've also brought up the fact that Hell has a very unique time scale where 1 year for them is around 10 years for us. So Blitz who is on your far right here, is around 360 odd years old. Moxie and Millie are about 270. And Luna is 220, as she is 22 in the series. So, what were your thoughts on the pilot? I mean, I'm assuming you've seen the pilot.
Indeed, I have, and the pilot is a pretty decent episode. Not the best, but like I think it still has its moments.
Yeah,
It's the starting ground of a boss, so like I can't really judge it too hard.
Right, and one of the other things that the show did for us was it introduced us to one of the main secondary characters. Of course, that's Stolas of the Ars Goetia. Now, he's based on a real-life bit of demon mythology. He's supposed to be part of a group of 72 demons who are supposed to have certain amounts of pull in hell. He was thought up around the late 17 to early 1800s, and he is around Blitz's age. So he's around 36, 37, so he's around 360 to 370 years old. And he is the only character in the pilot who is based off of any real demon mythology.
What? In a minute, I'm putting up eggs.
Who's doing what now?
What?
Looks like Roger was talking to somebody.
Oh.
So, but yeah. So we also have introduced in the second episode of the series proper, Stella Goetia, who we did see in the pilot but really didn't know anything about, and then Octavia. And neither of them come from any mythology or anything. They're completely original creations for the show. So
at least Octavia.
One of the things that no, Stella is also a show original, Shadow.
Oh.
So yeah, like I said, Stolas is the only one out of that family who is from any pre-existing mythology. So
okay,
that is basically, and one of the driving points of the show is that Blitz basically seduced Stolas to get access to a book that he has that enables him to make trips to the human world in order to facilitate the business of Imp, which is basically they kill people in the living world at the behest of those who have come down to hell and want revenge.
I hate to interrupt. We do have somebody in the live chat. Their name is Kate.
Otherwise known as the Immediate Murder Patrol.
Guys, one at a time. Guys, one at a time.
Sorry.
As I was saying, we have someone named Kate. Just let you know, we've all seen the pilot, so you won't be spoiling anything. So you're good. You're good, Kate.
Yeah. So the pilot again gives us the basic setup, some of the main conflicts of the show, and then we get episode 1, which is the first episode of the series proper, and then we get right all the way up to we basically had officially, counting the pilot, there are supposed to be 9 episodes, but one of them there's an issue with there, and we'll get to that when we get to it.
Yep.
But episode 1 was kind of interesting, as it was our first episode where we actually do get to see the gang on a job. And it's also the first time we actually see basically how one of those jobs would be brought up. We're introduced to a character called Mrs. Mayberry. She is a human who basically found out that her husband was having an affair, went back home. This was during school hours, no less, which was kind of sad.
That's sad. Very sad.
That is indeed sad.
So yeah, so she basically, in the middle of class, leaves the school, drives home, murders her husband, nearly successfully murders the woman he was having an affair with, and then kills herself. Unfortunately, the video teleconferencing thing was still on, so she also traumatized the kids. So So she ends up down in hell and decides she wants revenge on the woman who did actually survive the murder attempt. And it turns out,
fussing about it all over TV and stuff. Yes.
Yeah, and it turns out that this woman, and I'm trying to remember what her name is. I think it's let me see here.
It's a while, but I can't
Martha.
remember. Yeah,
Martha was the name of the character. Martha is one of a family of cannibal Satanists, I guess. Because it generally is it's implicated that she is a Satanist, and so is the rest of the family. They are also straight up cannibals, which really makes me wonder on one level what exactly they were eating when Blitz basically had his shot ruined by Moxie, or if I should actually want to know.
Yeah,
You shouldn't.
So
Shouldn't be thinking that.
Yeah.
I hate that
We also learned a couple of things about the team. We learned that the imps are completely impervious to normal fire.
Yep. Even I thought that was a stupid idea for the humans.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, to be fair, a Satanist trying to light somebody on fire wouldn't be that big of a surprise.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But
it's hard to pull the wool over our eyes for that sort of thing.
Well, no, in this case,
I mean, they live in hell, so like being burnt would be, a normal Saturday.
It depends, because again, remember, although hell looks a little weird, it doesn't look like the typical fire and brimstone we would associate with hell because of the imagery we've had over the years in, classical art. But one thing actually we do find out, and we actually find this out in the pilot, but it's easier to see in the first episode proper. Imp City, which is where our team lives, is a very new city. It was established in 1981. So that city is very new.
On a side note,
which is amazing how dilapidated it's already gotten, because like Imp basically at one point they were implied to be working out of a condemned building.
Which Moxie caught the building on fire when he was trying to launch a crossbow at that picture of the family.
It's a whole thing there.
It was really funny to watch. Luna's expression when the bow went through the picture. That was so funny. I was like, what the fuck?
I thought it was funnier when everything caught on fire and she's like, yike!
and then the eels spilled all over the floor. Then Blitz said, "Damn, Moxie, I just bought those eels."
Mm-hmm.
I think the funniest part in episode 1 is the part where Moxie, they spared them, right? He just called the police so that they can arrest them.
And they blow up the house.
Exactly, just pull up a fucking rocket.
So, I mean, you gotta admit that is pretty hilarious. I mean, to be fair, it's like psychotic satanic cannibals. I mean, I can almost understand that, especially if there's like been a lot of people who have gone missing and they might realize, oh shit, that's probably who's responsible for it. Forget it. We're not even going to bother bringing them in. We're just going to blow their brains out.
Just blow up the house.
By the way,
someone
Ika's going to be joining us shortly. She's our backup Tails. I messaged Ika.
Yeah, I mean, we're just going to keep doing the recording. Do what you got to do there, Shadow.
Yep.
So
I'm basically the media guy, the guy that's social media.
just leave the recording going.
Gotcha.
So
it's us both the straight men of most videos.
So just enjoy the stream, folks.
Yeah, and then don't forget, I mean, we also have Stolas kind of calling it like one of the worst possible times. Although I think he deliberately did that just to mess with Blitz. Because that kind of feels like what he was doing there, just to try to get him to agree to anything, just to get Stolas to stop fucking talking while he's trying to avoid getting shot by Martha.
It's like ever since those two had that whatever they had in bed, it's been pretty weird ever since. But it's not as weird as possible,
Yeah, it's a whole thing. Yeah. But one of the things that we found out in season 2, and we'll get to that in a bit, is that these guys have been acquaintanced for a long time. It was just recently when things got weird, to say the least. So, I mean, that's a whole thing. But we also learned that basically, Luna is kind of treated with kid gloves by Blitz, but I think I get the reason why. And a lot of people might not really get it, but as we learned throughout the series, Blitz's father was an asshole. Just a straight up ass.
Yeah, I remember.
Well, like,
yeah,
he was an asshole. Don't get me wrong, but like, I wouldn't say he's like fucking.
Well, considering Blitz was
compared to other fathers, yeah, he's just.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Cash Buxo, and yes, that is where we get the surname Buxo for Blitz, and theoretically also for Luna, unless he's changed it. But anyway, Cash was very much, even in the pilot, Blitz mentions that he was not particularly fond of his father. Now, in the pilot, I want to bring this up because we probably should address this. From the pilot to episode 1, there is a very distinct change. Originally, Blitz is stated to be part of a trio of imp siblings who worked at a circus, and after the pilot, it was narrowed down to him and what appears to be his twin sister. The other sibling appears to have been retconned as their mother. So.
Really?
Yeah, because you remember in the pilot, they're listed as the amazing imp siblings or whatever the hell it is, and there's like 3 of them.
Okay.
But then you look at like episodes 1 and up, and you only see Blitz and Barbie Wire.
Huh.
But
yeah, look at the one when they're in the conference room on that far wall in the pilot, and then look at like I guess it'd be probably episode 3, I think, is the next time we see them in the conference room.
Wasn't episode 3 the spring break one?
Spring Broken, yes, and it's probably one of the, for me at least, it's one of my favorite episodes.
Well, the fact we get to see Luna as a human.
Not just that, but also because we get a little bit more detail about her. But before we go into episode 3, we should briefly bring up the fact. We should briefly bring up the fact that episode 2 was pretty much a spotlight episode for Stolas and Octavia.
Yeah, it was.
So,
Lululand.
Yeah, Lululand is the only episode so far where Luna does not physically appear on screen.
Yep.
So
that's
kind of
disappointed because I enjoy Luna.
Right. And I think that might have been.
I don't mind.
Yeah, I'm thinking that might have been because she might have also been doing recordings for Pacific Rim the Black at the time, which I mean kind of makes sense, but who knows?
I still gotta get a push of Luna.
Yeah, we also get introduced to another couple of characters who will play important roles in the series going forward. Or at least one who does. And we got Ika! Ika, first off, welcome to the stream.
Hi.
Well, welcome to the stream, Ika. How you doing today?
And Ika, would you like to tell us who you voice for Shadow and Friends Gaming?
Yes.
I am the backup Tails voice actor. Yeah, if you haven't heard me in a video, this is what it sounds like.
And it's adorable.
That's
adorable.
So that's perfectly fine. All right, so Ika, you missed the beginnings here. So we were just discussing first. We had just discussed the main 4 characters. Now I'm not sure if you're aware of this. So again, I will repeat this. And again, anybody who's just joining the stream who might have missed this, obviously you can go back and listen to this later on once the stream is done and it's just up and ready to go. But
you can listen to the Warwolf Bible when the stream is finished.
Warwolf Bible.
funny. But no, so our main 4 characters are right here on the screen. And because Hell works on a alternate time scale, 1 year for them is roughly 10 years for us, give or take a year. So this puts Blitz at around 360 to 370 years old Earth time. Moxie and Millie are about 270 years old, and Luna is 220. So
I see.
Yeah, so in Hell time, Blitz is around 36 to 37, Moxie and Millie are 27, and Luna is 22. So
I see.
Yeah, and we had just gotten done discussing the pilot and the first episode. So, did you have any thoughts about those in general, or are you good to jump?
Wait, is this the pilot where? Is the pilot had the songs like "When You Want Somebody Gone and You Don't Want to Wait"?
Yes,
that song?
that is where we get. Yes. All right. Yeah. That is where we get
memorized
info.
those lyrics actually.
So
we do.
Yeah. So let's not turn this into a singing fest. Okay.
Yeah, let's not.
But
okay.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that is where we get the imp jingle, which is absolutely hilarious.
It's top tier.
I just realized in the second episode they said Lululand was a ripoff of some other land.
Yeah, Lululand in the show is stated to be a ripoff of Lulu World, which is another theme park run by Lucifer, and this is still within the realm of the show. So this is all just within its own universe.
And that kind of also reflected to Blitz's past when he was in the circus.
Yes. Well, it's even stranger than that. So apparently he went from working in the circus to at some point working in Lululand. And this is where we're introduced, as I mentioned, we're going to be introduced to some of the tertiary characters who are going to be flitting in and out of the series from this point on. In episode 2, we're introduced to RoboFizz, or as he also refers to himself, the robotic Fizzaroli. And the robotic Fizzaroli is basically used at this theme park as entertainment for children. However, if you happen to, it's a pause moment. You actually have to pause it, like when you get outside to the tents when Blitz and RoboFizz are having their fight. You will actually see a poster for literally RoboFizzaroli, and it can be utilized for any number of things, including it's effectively a sex bot.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I'm not joking.
Look at that.
Shit.
Watch the rest of this at your own leisure.
Guys, I have to leave. Sorry, I couldn't join for so long.
That's fine, Eddie. I mean, that's fine.
Hey, you take care, and thank you for joining.
Thanks for joining in, and we're gonna have more of these. So,
I hope you have a wonderful day, you magnificent bastard.
All right, thank you, Mr. Dorito Man. See you guys.
Am I supposed to say something?
I'll go right ahead.
I couldn't. Hang on. I couldn't understand a word you were saying because like your voice is.
Are you talking to me or?
What happened to Ika?
Whoa, we lost. Did we lose Ika?
Yeah.
Ika just vanished in the shadow.
Welcome back. What happened, Ika?
Okay. I think your voices were like heavily glitching out and like
that might be a connection. It sometimes happens.
Discord's having a moment, everyone.
Yeah,
so,
Discord
the stream doesn't think it is normal.
Yeah. So Fizzaroli, as we later learned, is the model for these robots. And RoboFizz mentions Big Ozzy. Now, this later on turns out to be Osmodeus, who was another member of the Ars Goetia, and in fact, one who outranked Stola. Dorito.
Sorry.
Don't do that. So, yeah. So, Osmodeus outranks Stolas. He's a king in the Ars Goetia, whereas Stolas is just a prince. We also, in that same episode, get our first introduction to Wally Wackford. And he pops up again in later episodes as well. But he was the guy selling the inconvenient torches in episode 2. He just doesn't get named until later on in the show. So that's pretty fun. But I mean, guys, what are your thoughts on episode 2? I mean, I honestly thought this, like, for as early in the series as it was, I mean, the fact that they got that fucking emotionally deep that early on is kind of impressive.
my thoughts on episode 2. It's way better than episode 1. Like, no contest. Like, don't get me wrong, episode 1 was good, but like this one just blew it out of the water.
Yeah, Angie apparently has to leave. Angie, thank you for hanging out with us. Well, hopefully we'll see you
No
next
problem.
time. And thanks for joining us for this debut.
We'll see you Monday, Angie.
Oh, have
Okay,
a wonderful
bye.
day, Angie.
See you soon.
So
Nice.
yeah, I mean, yeah, go ahead, Ika.
I actually have not seen a Helluva Boss episode. I've only seen the pilot.
Oh, okay.
I mean, really, the only problem.
Fine.
I know the characters, but the only problem I kind of have with the show is that the characters do curse, and I'm okay with cursing, but I just don't like excessive cursing. You know,
you've got to remember that is the culture of hell. So
Yep.
that is part of the culture that they grew up in, and for them, it's perfectly fine. So this is going to be a casual thing for them. I mean, I grew up around people who swear casually. I picked it up. So
I mean, I swear every day.
yeah, I mean,
Well,
if you listen to half the time I'm playing as Sonic. I mean, have you listened to my work as Sonic? My Sonic would probably make most sailors blush.
Well, yeah, considering that Sonic didn't really swear any of your video games.
Yeah, but I'm saying my version does. So there you go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But my version of Wario has some swearing here and there. Most of it is just for insults.
Yeah, and my Mario just likes to swear because I like to swear.
And your Mario always likes to pick on Luigi.
Yeah, we're also getting off track. So yeah, so that's fine, Ika. I mean, honestly, you've got more of the show to watch, and I do recommend that you finish watching.
Watch another episode. Maybe I should watch another episode. But
I mean, there's like 7 episodes after the pilot just for the first season, and then season 2, episode 1 dropped in July. So we're already in the second season. Episode 8 is kind of in this weird limbo, and we'll get to that when we get to it. But so yeah, so that's the whole thing.
But overall, episode 2 wasn't bad.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I didn't realize they were going to go for an emotional gut punch like that quick in the series.
I'm gonna say this right now: the animation is
the animation's great, dude.
I mean, again, it's a more simplistic art style, so that's not a surprise.
No, but like when Stola started singing, dude, the animations. The animators decided to go all out.
Oh yeah,
like just.
And Stolas was being hunted in that episode too.
There's nothing wrong, just casually making a fucking piece of artwork.
But remember, Blitz has to protect Stolas every time because people are always after him. So it's like,
that was actually literally just an excuse to have Blitz along for the day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because we literally see at the end of the episode that if Stolas wanted, he could have just stoned all those assholes.
Yeah,
this was literally just an excuse to have him along for the day with his daughter, and so this way he could flirt with the imp he's obsessed with while having his daughter out for a day with him. Now the thing is,
best friend, he's actually in love with him.
Well, no. Initially, they didn't really make it seem like it was that deep. They didn't initially make it seem like it was that deep. It just seemed like he was just like that. Again, it was just a whole thing. I mean,
but then
when you,
yeah,
I mean, it's definitely involved beyond just the occasional, using him as like a booty call.
And also, you didn't have to go that. You have to go that too deep.
But but throughout the series, from them,
like I said, it definitely develops onto that. No, it definitely develops onto him having legit feelings for him, but it does start out with like he just wants casual sex.
But here's the thing, though. Just because originally it was just the usual, sex exchange for like the grimoire. Eventually, their relationship got deeper
Oh yeah,
because
I'm not denying that at all.
The last episode,
right? Yeah, no, I'm not.
where they were like being more emotional with their feelings.
Oh yeah,
than
no,
just, being straight up.
Absolutely.
Like, oh yeah,
Absolutely.
I want to fuck you. Okay, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, right. No, like I said, in the first basically 3 episodes, they kind of gave us that impression, but then it turns out,
if you want a book that can basically get you to any place on Earth, you just gotta get a little bit dirty.
I think he means down and dirty.
Of course, they're dirty.
Well, I mean, Millie seems to think people care about their cars being clean in hell, so whatever. But no, Ruby, you're absolutely right. I mean, there very much does get to the point that things do start getting deeper as the series rolls on. But if you look at like the pilot, then episode 1, then episode 2, it really seems like it's literally just a whole thing where Stolas is just looking for somebody to take to bed with him.
Well, here's the thing. Because the reason why he usually fucks, I'm gonna just say this. The reason why he usually fucks Blitz is just because obviously it's because of his wife, because she belittles him every single
We'll get to Stella.
time.
We will get to Stella at some point.
No, she ain't a bitch. She a cunt, man. She a cunt.
No, like, dude, like she's good lord, but yeah, no, Stella is one of the. Hang on a second, I got something stuck in my nose.
Okay.
But anyways,
but can we all agree that season 1 episode 4 was pretty good?
Yeah. All right.
Oh my god.
On to episode 3.
Episode 3 is where we get introduced to another couple of characters, one of which has become a semi-recurring character, and that's Verosika Mayday. Now, she is a succubus. She's also a pop star, and she used to date Blitz.
But here's the thing: she's from the Lust Ring.
Yes.
So she's a succubus.
I just mentioned that she is a succubus. So here's the kicker: apparently, she does still happen to be carrying something of a torch. Because if you notice in episode 3, when Blitz falls out of the van, that brief look of concern on her, it's like, I actually didn't even know about that. I read about that recently on TV Tropes, and they mentioned that. It's like, wait, really? And then I go back, it's like, yeah, that's actually a thing. So she, I get the impression it was very serious. Shadow, what the fuck are you doing?
Just checking something.
Yeah, just weirding us out in there. But yeah, anyway, but the thing is, like I said, the reason why I thought this was very serious, at least on her end, she's got his name tattooed on her shoulder.
The shoulder?
But
really?
didn't she X that out?
Right? Yeah, but if that were the case, if she was really over him, she would have just had the damn tattoo removed.
I mean, you can't get tattoos removed, but it's just really painful.
Well, I mean, there's laser surgery and a couple of other ways to do it. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, it can be done. And, I mean, again, you figure she has the money to do it. She's still a very popular pop star.
So pretty much she's like a
But aren't we going to talk about who voices her?
Christina V. Yes, I knew this was going to come.
One of my favorite fucking voice actors. One of them, which is Marinette Dupencheng, or as Ladybug from the French superhero show.
Miraculous Ladybug. Yeah, I mean she's got a pretty interesting amount of anime credits under her belt. She's been in Immortal Grand Prix. She's been in Immortal Grand Prix, Destiny of the Shrine Maiden, Rosen Maiden, Tweenie Witches, The Familiar of Zero, Blade of the Immortal, Puella Magi, Magica.
What?
Yeah, she was Akame.
What character?
Akame, Hamura.
Really?
Yes. She is also Sakura Mato, or at least the young version of her, in Fate Zero. She's in Ikitosen. She's in Bleach. She's in Doraemon. She was in Sailor Moon in the Viz dub.
What?
Going
Yeah,
on
she
Sailor
was
Moon?
Sailor Mars.
Wow. Did not know that part.
She was?
I'm dead serious.
Jesus Christ,
Oh,
somebody's
man.
geeking out.
Yeah, she's definitely
I am.
geeking.
But,
I
yeah,
am a fan of her
She was
work.
also
She
was
mostly
also
inspired me to
in
do this.
she was in Sailor Moon Crystal. She's also Sakura in Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. So I mean, she's got a lot under her belt. So I mean, we could do like 15 minutes or more just running down her credits. But yes, no, she is in quite a bit of anime, and I mean the fact that they got her for this is pretty fucking amazing. Yes, she's also been in Miraculous Ladybug. She's Robin Hill in Ruby.
Okay.
And let's see, she's also the young Donald Duck in the DuckTales reboot.
That is random.
A new random.
Yeah, I mean, she's also been in a couple of animated feature films, you know, including Tekken Blood Vengeance.
Wait, Tekken Blood Oh, wait, what?
Yeah, she's Alisa Boskanovich.
Boskovich.
Can I?
Whatever. Yeah, I can't pronounce the name.
Oh.
So it's like, yeah, I mean,
When
again,
you're
she's
done, can I say
so many
something?
things. Yeah, shoot.
Speaking of voice actors, I just wanted to say that the person who voiced Luna is also the same voice actor as
Hang on, Ika, you're breaking up a bit there. By the way, you might want to change your voice settings, but we'll get to that in a little bit.
Yeah.
Are you on your PC or are you on your phone? Ika, are you on your phone or are you on your PC?
Well,
I'm guessing she's on phone. It's hard to tell.
I'm just since we're here and talking about the voice cast, Richard fucking Horvitz. That's my.
We covered him. We
already covered him.
Yeah, we already covered him.
He has been.
Not to mention Christina V. Because if you're any like fans of like from TikToks, she is the voice of French Fry from Chicken Nugget.
I have never
French
used
the Squish Dragon.
I have never used TikTok. Now hang on. Ika, are you on phone or PC?
No, I'm glad to see I'm not the only one who watches Chicken Nugget.
Dorito, hang on a minute. Ika. Okay, you're still breaking up there. So
what?
Go into your. Oh god damn it!
Let her figure it out.
Yeah, we're having some technical
difficulties. I was gonna show her how to get around that, but no big word. All right, whatever.
Yeah, sorry everyone.
Yeah, we're dealing with this. So,
but still, I'm not the only one who watches Chicken Nugget. I've
never heard of it.
I mean, it's spelt weird, but it's just this little animator who does like really cute, wholesome animations, and I am surprised that because I don't know their pronouns.
Christina V is female.
No, I'm talking about the creator.
Oh, also female.
Also female? What?
Vivian Madrano.
No, I'm not talking about. No, I'm talking about.
We're talking about Chicken
Nugget.
Oh, never mind.
I don't know their pronouns.
Yeah, and that's not even what we're discussing anyway, because we're trying to discuss.
Still, I'm just surprised that I don't know how they even got Christina to voice their character. But anyways, back on track.
Yes.
Cobwebs.
Well.
So anyway, yeah. So Christina V. Now the interesting thing is they haven't told us much about how these two, talking about Blitz and Verosika, but there has been some speculation that at some point Blitz might have worked for her as a bodyguard. And speaking of bodyguards, that brings us to Vortex, who is the only other Hellhound we've seen so far in the show.
Oh yeah, I remember. I'm in episode 3 in Spring Broken.
Yes.
Oh yeah, he's hot.
I think he's just a
Well,
muscular
I can have my
hothead.
crushes.
I'm not judging. I'm not judging. I mean, for God's sakes, I'm into Luna. So
This
What?
channel is a
what?
judge-free
What?
zone. And if
Yo,
you've seen
what?
any of my videos, you'll know why it's a judge-free
Shadow,
zone.
hang on a second. I said I'm not judging you for being into Vortex. I'm into Luna.
Well,
I'm into Luna.
well,
no, I was saying I was talking to Ruby there, and you were talking over me, Shadow.
Right.
it's just
So-
I thought you said something else.
I'm
Which
not
I'm not gonna
sure I want to know what you thought I was saying, so I'm not going to
I'm
ask.
not
Say it.
discussing you.
Say it.
Anyway,
Say it.
so this brings up another thing that I do want to bring up about the series overall. The music is fucking fantastic.
Oh hell yeah.
The
Oh, that
is like-
songwriting is
I mean, yes, and
immaculate.
everything
repeat
they've
this
done
part.
is original to the show.
I think
Which is,
it works now.
yeah, you're sounding much better.
Ika's
All right.
back.
All right, so the
Girl.
thing I wanted to say.
Dorito, shut up. Whether you could talk.
Oh wait, I can't.
Sorry about that, everyone.
So what I wanted to say was the person who voiced Luna is the same voice actor as Rafina in Puyo Puyo Tetris. That's just another thing that I noticed.
Yeah, Erica Lindbeck has also been in Pacific Rim: The Black. We covered that earlier. So,
Oh yeah.
she's been in a couple of things. She's been in Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. She's been in the Seven Deadly Sins, Al Noah Zero, Mobile Suit, Gundam, Iron Blooded Orphans, Hunter x Hunter,
Oh
Fate
wow.
Apocrypha. Oh wow! Actually, I didn't even know that she's fucking Saber of Red. I didn't know that.
I've seen at least 3 or 4 of those shows you mentioned. So
Yeah, she's in Sailor Moon Super S. So
And
she's-
I have a theory that Hazbin Hotel and Helluva Boss exist in the same world.
well, first off,
They
you're pronouncing
do,
wait. Yeah, first off, you're pronouncing it wrong. It's Helluva Boss. It's
Really?
pronounced, yeah, it's pronounced
It's
I
Helluva.
always thought it was
It-
Helluva.
No, it's like if you say Helluva really quick, Helluva, that's where you get the UVA thing. That's like Helluva Boss.
Oh.
So
Well,
that's where that's part of the joke of the thing. And yes, it does, or at least at one point, as far as we know, definitely was part of the same universe. However, we don't know whether or not that is still the case after the fact that A24 Films picked up Has Been Hotel for order, so they may be forcibly split under legal ground. But again, we'll get to that because that may play into episode 8, and again, we do have to discuss that at some point.
Oh, yeah.
and
Well,
So
I
that's
have
a whole
theory,
thing.
and I wanted to explain it, but I guess if we're gonna explain it another time, then I guess
Yeah,
I don't know.
we might get to it tonight. We might get to it at some other point. But yes,
All right.
at least when the two series launched, they were definitely both supposed to take place in the same universe. But again, because of the fact that has been picked up by a regular film studio, they might be forced to effectively kind of ignore each other, even if they are taking place in the same world.
Oh,
Again,
speaking
we'll
of
get to that
husband,
later.
I just wanted to point out. I just wanted to comment that I have like a huge crush on the red one,
Alistair.
Alistair, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
the guy that
great.
sounds like a
Um,
mechanical
That's
machine
not
video
me.
guy.
Guys, we're getting off topic here.
Oh, yeah.
But
Okay.
yes, I'm not too surprised about the ironic thing is that Edward Bosco, who was the original voice for Alistair, who has since been recast, we don't know with who yet. Bosco has popped up a couple of times in Hell of a Boss.
Really?
In fact, he was the voice of the kid who ends up getting shot at the end of in the pilot.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
I'm not even
Wow.
kidding. I'm not even kidding. He's also the surfer dude that Blitz basically kills by splitting his head in half with an axe
Holy
in episode
shit.
3.
Yeah, I remember that.
I think I believe a friend of mine told me that he actually met Edward.
Nice.
Nice.
Edward also voiced Klug and Puyo Puyo Tetris. That's just another thing I wanted to point out.
That's fine, but we don't need to. We don't need to broadcast who everybody else was in. People can obviously look this up, but
Yeah,
let's try.
Google exists.
So yeah. Anyway,
Google is indeed our website.
So anyway,
This team made this
so
team subtitled by
episode
Google.
3 again. I mean, just shows off just like episode 2 did. The writing for the songs is fantastic, and like they keep doing their own original music, which is really really cool. So,
oh my god. Which I don't know if it's okay to like say this yet, since we're only on like I think it was like episode 5 or
we'll get to that. We'll get to that because like the next episode we get is episode 4, and that's where we're introduced to the cherubs.
Mm-hmm.
oh god.
And these guys are literally like when we say cherub, we normally think of something like Cupid, the cute little baby looking angel thing.
Yep, those things.
And we kind of get that with these guys. One of them actually is humanoid in appearance, and his name is Cletus. Then we get Colin. Yeah. Then we get Colin. Yeah. Then we get Colin and Keeney. Okay. Now they are effectively sheep, but they're depicted as cutesy and all. But they are effectively the opposite number to Imp, where Imp are going up to Earth to basically murder people at the behest of sinners who want revenge. Cherub are a group that goes out to save people.
Yep.
And in episode 4, it turns out that both groups are trying to either kill or save one very specific individual, and they have this target. So this brings them into conflict for the first time, and I don't think it's going to be the last. Now, I brought this up earlier, and so this is where this comes up. Keeney, the female cherub in the team, is voiced by series creator Vivian Madrano. So, yeah, that is one of 2 roles that she plays, because the other one is a character named Deary, who also appears in that same episode. So she's like done 2 minor characters. That's it.
I never knew that she voiced them.
Yeah. Well, but this is why you watch the credits. But yeah, yeah, no.
I barely watch it.
Yeah, I mean.
Seems like Linda does that.
Yeah. So, because honestly, like if you want to see like the full versions of some of the songs, they're usually done right over the credits. That's why you watch to the end where they do the end credits. It's really cool. But yeah, no, Madrano herself voiced those 2 characters in that one episode. So this was kind of an interesting little series turnabout, because we basically get to find out that Heaven are almost as much a group of dicks as Hell is in this universe.
Way to use that word
I wouldn't be surprised.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a whole weird little thing.
No weapons of Chicago.
So, at the very least, we know that at some point, I think that the cherubs are going to come back, because, I mean, they're kind of left stranded at the end of episode 4. So either they're going to still be flitting around on Earth, or they may end up becoming denizens of Hell. So it is going to be interesting to see what their Hell forms look like, because Vivian Madrano has stated that if any characters from Heaven went to Hell, they would gain a demonic-looking appearance. If any characters from Hell went to Heaven, they'd gain an angelic-looking appearance. So yes, that would include our little team from Imp. So
I wonder what they'll look like. I hope it's.
I don't think we're gonna see it, but she did mention that would potentially happen. So I mean, that's just a whole thing. Yeah, so that is a whole thing. But so then we get to episode, and I think this is the one you might have been wanting to talk about Ruby, which is episode 5. Because this is where we get introduced to Striker.
No, I was talking about
Like a
episode 6. That's the
boy.
one. That's the one. But Striker's also hot.
Okay, so
God damn it.
Okay. It's
Alright,
like
so-
when
so-
we go to what's hot or what's not section.
yeah, I'm not going to worry about who's hot and who's not at this point.
Right.
Okay, so hang on.
Every
So,
damn time.
Dorito, chill. So, say it more slowly, Ruby. What episode were you looking towards?
I was looking towards like around episode 5 or episode 7, and I'm like, no, it's 6 because of
Okay.
when Moxie
We'll
and
get
Brooke
to
were
that one.
tripping.
We'll get to that one. I think I know what you're thinking of when Moxie's tripping balls. Yeah, I get that. But yeah, no. Striker was an interesting little development in and of itself. Striker is another hitman, but as far as I can tell, he only works in hell. And we find out that he's basically running a contract to kill Stolas. And this guy is good enough that he can basically take on almost everybody in Imp, basically on his own. So we know that he takes out Millie relatively quickly, but that's not exactly a big surprise because Millie's kind of the glass cannon of the group.
Cannon?
But here's the thing, though.
Wait, no, hang on. Give me a second here, Shadow. I just gotta grab a quick drink.
Yeah, my water bottle is pretty much empty. I should have filled it.
Okay, so glass cannon is the name for the trope for a character who can deal out a lot of damage, but goes down in like 1 or 2 hits.
Dang.
So
For
literally,
example,
anytime
Akuma
we've seen,
on the Street Fighter series.
anytime we've seen Millie in a straight fight, I mean, Ralphie took her down in 1 hit in episode 1, and Striker takes her down in like maybe 2 hits in episode 5.
Yep.
So she can deal out a lot of damage, but if she takes any real damage, I mean, she basically goes down like a sack of potatoes.
Like a twig.
A twig.
No, more like a napkin, but whatever. But
Yep.
But,
before we do get to episode 5 anymore, there is one thing I want to go back to real quick. Drunk Moxie in episode 3.
Poor
He
guy.
was hilarious.
This comedy.
I mean, I love it. It's like he accidentally gets thrown into a keg by a bunch of people who think he's a fucking possum. Gets drunk off his ass, and the first thing that happens when he gets out of the fucking keg is he looks up at his wife. He's like, "Hey, when did you get 4 heads? I want to kiss them all." like he's ridiculously wholesome at the same time he's drunk off his ass.
Man, that was a rough day for him. Poor Moxie.
A human called me up. So
I am not a possum. Yeah, no, it was hilarious. But again, this is also where we got to see Millie being straight up badass when she basically goes and saves drunk Moxie from the giant fish monster. But again, anytime somebody takes a straight hit at her, she goes down almost instantly. So this is one of those episodes where we do get to see that, yes, she can be dangerous. But again, for the most part, she's a glass cannon.
On a side note, I think you forgot to say you also voiced Eggman Nega in the intro.
No, I mentioned that.
Oh, you did? Okay, I thought you didn't. My bad.
Yeah, I mentioned Sonic, Eggman, Nega, Mario, and what's his face there?
Johnny and Whisker as well, yeah.
Bonnie, Whisker, and the pirate dude.
Yeah, good.
But here's the thing though. What you forgot to mention about why Striker was.
No, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that because we briefly jumped back to episode 3. But no, so as you mentioned, there is a reason why he's on a contract for Stolas, and the contract on Stolas was taken out by Stella.
Mm-hmm.
So she is now basically developing into like probably one of the lead antagonists of the show.
I would not be surprised.
This of course is like I would say spoilers, but like this has been a thing for well over a year at this
Yeah,
point.
so
We already know that.
everybody's already seen it, pretty much.
Yeah. So this is also really bad for anybody who wanted to say, okay, Stella's not so bad. She's just upset that, Stella's shitting on her. Like, no, she's literally psychotic enough to want to call out a hit on her husband. And it's not because of him cheating. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. That actually does come up as a part of a discussion in season 2, but we'll get to that. So yeah, so she basically not only took out a hit on Stolas, theoretically she may have also armed Stryker with the holy weaponry he has,
which could kill an angel, or like they have angel bullets, which could like kill a demon.
Demon royalty.
Mm-hmm.
So the demons who are royals in Helluva Boss and presumably Has-Been Hotel are stated
or if
to
they have like high nobility and shit like that.
Yeah, basically they are established as being effectively immortal. The only other people in hell that are immortal are the sinners. They don't age, but they also can't have kids.
Wait, what?
Yeah, in Has-Been Hotel and Helluva Boss, the sinners, they come down to hell. They're made immortal and given all these weird demonic forms and everything, but they are incapable of having children.
But how
but I mean, they can have sex.
Some voodoo magic.
No, they can have sex. They just can't have kids.
Well, no need for condoms.
Well, yeah, that actually. Speaking of, that's actually kind of an interesting point. There is one minor retcon from the pilot into the main series, and that is the fact that originally Luna was depicted as having syphilis.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
That has since been retconned out, as far as I know, because it hasn't been brought up since.
Because Blitz was trying to give her a present. He said,
yes,
give her syphilis. And nope.
And he's like, no,
I don't want it.
Yeah, yes, like
it was spiders.
So yeah, that's a whole thing.
That was funny. That actually was funny.
But yeah, so that is one minor retcon we've seen in the show so far.
Yeah.
But yeah, so and the thing is, Stella's not even trying to hide it. I mean, she's literally screaming at Stryker about, getting the hit done while she's at the dinner table with Stolas and Octavia.
But Stolas is like, huh? What'd you say?
Yeah, and meanwhile, Octavia's just got her head in her fucking headphones. She just doesn't care anymore.
Nah, I feel how Octavia feels. I'm like, that's literally me every single day.
Well, again, you gotta remember, it's like her mother has spent years screaming at her father. She's kind of tuned it out at this point, so she's like,
I don't blame her if she has any like emotional or childhood trauma because of it. Because honestly,
we know that she has an emotional connection with Stolas. In fact, she prefers Stolas over Stella, who has been largely an absentee mother, even though they live in the same fucking house.
Yeah. And but going back to like season 2 or no episode 2, not season 2.
Yeah.
It's just like she has like a special connection with her dad, but like it's just like it's so sad because her mom doesn't really like look out for her that much.
Yeah, no, like I said, even though she's present in the house, she might as well be an absentee mother. So yeah, it's like you can see it's like again, like you look at episode 2, she's got one drawing up of her and her father, and her mother's nowhere to be seen in that drawing. And it was done. It was and this is like, I don't know, like 5-6 years old. This kid is when we see her in that younger form, and then you got to remember, it's like she calls for both of her parents, but only Stolas shows up because Stella can't be bothered to get the fuck out of bed and help her daughter.
She's so like, she's like, no, I'm sleeping.
Yeah,
shut the fuck up. Let me go to bed.
She's basically like, he's like, Via's calling for us, and she's like, you get up. And it's like, So I don't think she has ever really gotten to know her daughter at all, like, period. So
Because she's too stuck up. She has a fucking stick up her ass to even fucking care.
yeah, she's basically
And
she's all about her. She's all about her own personal image and social climbing. That's it. That's all Sella is. She is a bitch.
Yep.
Plain and simple. And
Just like Verosica.
well, see, with Verosica, I can almost understand the way she behaves because you got to remember, in addition to the fact that we don't know exactly what went on between her and Blitz, but again, their relationship, at least on her end, was so goddamn serious. She got Blitz's name tattooed on her. All right. So whatever happened, because apparently the way he dumped her was epic, but we don't know why.
Yeah,
There's so
why
much
would
about
he
this that
dump
we
her
don't
is the
know.
question.
I have no idea, and nobody really knows.
Wait,
But
did somebody mention me?
no. We're talking about the whole thing about why Blitz dumped Verosca because we just don't know what happened there. But the way he
I
did it,
haven't seen all the episodes in weeks, so I've been catching up on the first 3 episodes so far.
It was
That's
never
why I've
brought
been
up.
quiet.
Yeah, it was. No worries. It was never brought up in case that's what you were wondering. But
Here's the thing. Here's what I think. Blitz like fucking left Verosica in the dust. He is too afraid of commitment.
It may be something more than that. Also, Ika, if you do feel like you've got to go, by all means, head on out. Thank you for coming in to join us.
All right.
We're going to be doing more of these at some point anyway, so you're more than welcome to join in at
As long as
one of our later
the
ones.
other videos
I'll
we
see you
have
guys
get
soon.
played.
So
Okay, see you.
Good night, Ika.
yeah. So again, we don't know much about I don't think it's just the idea that he's afraid of commitment because we don't know a lot about what's going on in Blitz's life. Honestly, we know more about him than we know about his daughter, which is saying a lot because at this point, the only thing we know about her is that he basically adopted her when she was around like late 17-ish. So right before she would have effectively been thrown out of the orphanage she was in anyway. So I mean, it says something that she stayed with him after all this. I mean, that's basically like what fucking 100 years that she stayed with him. Because you got to.
Here's the thing. If you did not hear in like episode 3, she like almost called Blitz dad.
Right, and then later on, she's like, "Yeah, like I was almost." She like, and she goes like, and then later on, she goes like that. You're not my real dad bit, and then she's like, I was almost 18. Blah blah blah. It's like so again. So that is one of those things where it's like, again, there's a lot about her we don't know. You know,
but that is probably something that we'll probably learn throughout the show.
I'm really hoping so because like at this point we know more about M than we do about Luna, and then what we've gotten on them is very minimal. So let's talk about what we do know about them. We know that they're both from the Wrath Ring.
Mm-hmm.
We know that Wrath is supposed to be the ring that feeds the rest of Hell. And by the way, since we're probably confusing some people who might not have really been paying this much attention, Hell is divided into layered rings stacked on top of each other. The topmost ring is Pride, where all sinners are trapped. They can't go to lower rings.
And it's Lucifer's realm, which he is, I think, if I am correct.
Yes, because basically, hang on. So the way they've got this set up is Lucifer is the overall king of hell, but each ring is also ruled by a prince. He is the prince of the Pride Ring, and again, overall the primary ruler of hell. But each ring is otherwise ruled by a prince of that particular ring that embodies one of the 7 deadly sins. And like I said, they are stacked on top of each other.
Oh,
the Ring of Wrath. Yeah, the Ring of Wrath is, I believe...
Satan.
No, I was going to say like 2 rings down, maybe 3. Give me a
Well,
minute here.
actually, from what I believe, because of like.
Well, no, I've seen the
their-
map. I think I've got the map somewhere here. Helluva.
Oh, you got the map?
Well, yeah, like if you look at like Cartoon Universe, their video, whoever's breathing into their mic by trying to eat it, please stop. So I thought I had the list of which one of these is Dorito.
What happened, my friend?
We're getting some kind of wind or something off of your microphone.
Oh.
You might want to turn on noise suppression.
Oh, sure. Why not? I'm turning it on. Let me just.
Yeah,
Yeah, sorry about that, everyone.
God damn it, where is... I saw an exact loop for the stack, and I don't know why the hell I can't find it here. Let's see, I thought I had this.
Can you hear it now? Like
oh, damn, the stream's almost been like around...
An hour, yeah, that's not bad.
An hour and 20 minutes.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, this is what happens with like discussions like these. Like
good
discussions. So much to discuss about.
Mm-hmm.
But
Always
honestly, from what I believe, for like my theory on the 7 deadly sins, and since there's a map, and if the 7 layers,
I'm trying to remember the exact layers there, but like Pride is at the top,
which probably means Lucifer is the eldest.
No, he is straight up. He is straight up the prince there. That is not something you need to theorize. That is legitimately the thing.
Well, no, that's the thing though. But like, it is depicted that the 7 deadly sins are actually brothers.
Not necessarily in this reality. I mean, that could be the case in regular demon mythology, but
not really. But like for some stories, it is. But for like my theory, for the 7 layers of hell, the 7 layers could depict like who's the eldest.
I'm going to tell you right now, though. I'm going to tell you right now, your theory would be wrong simply because if that were the case, then Lucifer would be one of the Ars Goetia, and he's not.
Really?
Yeah, because one of the rulers of the rings, in fact, the Lust Ring specifically, is Asmodeus, who is stated to be the fucking the prince of the fucking Lust Ring,
which we all know. I mean, people probably know a lot about lust.
Yeah.
Which is obviously, I wouldn't blame it if it's the most sort of popular ring.
It kind of is, simply because it's basically, there's like a goddamn nightclub there and everything. So I'm trying to, because I know I've seen this fucking map. Let's see if we can get this.
Which, if I am correct, because where it takes place in Lululand is in the Greed Ring,
yes,
which is owned by Mammon. Mammon, and Wrath is Satan. Obviously, Asmodeus rules lust.
Beelzebub is gluttony.
Mm-hmm.
Belphegor is sloth.
And Leviathan. I forgot what Leviathan.
I'm trying to find. I'm still trying to find the exact fucking
Envy.
map. Might be Envy. Yeah, you could be right. So, give me a minute. I'm still trying to find this damn thing. But yeah, no. When you get right down to it, yeah, that makes perfect sense. If I can find this goddamn. Here's the damn stack map because
You okay?
But anyway, no, I'm fine. It's just I'm not a big fan of Deep Cut because the guy has kind of turned out to be a dick. But I'll give him this; his videos are actually pretty good.
It's good for information.
Yeah.
Who's Deep Cut, by the way?
He's one of the presenters on the channel Cartoon Universe, I used to be in their Discord, but the person who ran it turned out to be a complete jerk. And then he kind of decided he was going to be kind of a dick later on when I was talking to him about some stuff. So give me a minute here. So, like I said, I'm still trying to find this because there is a stack map that he found it. All right, so we have. Give me just a minute here. We have the fucking map. I'm gonna get this done in just a second, and there we are.
Well, since
Hi guys, I'm back.
Shadow did say that
Welcome back.
oh, hi Shadow.
Welcome back.
Yeah,
So,
I had
so-
questions.
Here's
So
what
let
I
me- let-
think we should probably.
Let me run this down for you. So the rings right now, as they're stacked in the map, are Pride at the top, Wrath right below it, Gluttony right below that. Greed is actually the fourth ring down. Then we have Lust, Envy, and Sloth. Now, curiously enough, Blitz has mentioned that the nearest ocean from the Pride ring is 3 rings down. Now, if I'm understanding him right, that basically means that there is an ocean somewhere in Greed. So there could be another ocean lower down, and it might in fact be Envy. But at this point, as far as who rules what, we know that Pride is ruled by Lucifer, who was the overall king. I almost said Satan because those two have been conflated over the years as one and the same. But there we go. Then we've got Wrath, which, as far as we know, is ruled by Satan. Gluttony is ruled by Beelzebub, but they seem to imply that this might be a combined rulership, and that this might be 2 entities, and that one of them might be female. So that's kind of interesting. Yeah, we don't have a confirmation on it yet. Next, we have the Greed Ring, ruled by Memon, and we haven't seen him directly, but we've seen his image depicted on Hell's currency. Lust is obviously Asmodeus, and he is one of the Ars Goetia.
He is?
He is a king in the Ars Goetia. He outranks Stolas. I brought this up earlier.
But,
Yeah, so this would blow your theory about them being brothers out of the water, because presumably the 7 deadly sins were all directly fallen angels, whereas the Ars Goetia don't necessarily have to be. But yeah, whatever. As far as Envy, we believe that's Leviathan, but we haven't. We don't know yet.
Looked it up.
Well, no, I'm talking in the show, not in regular demonology.
All right.
So, and then we have Sloth, which is potentially ruled by Belphegor. So, because the funny thing, Belphegor is kind of an interesting, because supposedly he isn't necessarily evil; he just didn't want to work. Hence,
well, I mean, yeah, when it's sloth, that means you're like lazy. You don't really
want to do anything. Right. So yeah. So that's basically the stack as we understand it for Hell in the Helluva Boss series, and possibly as well for Has-Been Hotel. Now, again, they might have had to make some changes to separate these two because of legal reasons, but again, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Wow,
so,
legal reasons.
This is what we know so far about what's in what ring, who potentially rules it, and potentially what species are native to it. We haven't seen, for example, we know that there's potentially a population entirely of imps in the Wrath Ring. However, Blitz is not from there. We don't know where he's from, actually.
Maybe we'll know later in the series?
We could. We very easily could. Now, we know that Moxie and Millie are from Wrath because they were born there. Now, potentially, Moxie is from a more urban area because, as you notice, he's much more well-spoken and cultured.
Yeah, and Millie, we obviously know she's from,
she's a farm girl. She's got like the southern twang thing, but yeah. So we don't know exactly. We don't know exactly where in Wrath Moxie comes from. But either way,
maybe there is a city area in
there theoretically is, because there is one mentioned during Verosica's tour. If you've ever seen the did you ever see the Shark Robot merchandise that they did a while back, where they had a tour listing for Verosica, and they basically had a list of basically every major place she was going to hit up.
No, I have not actually.
Okay, I'm trying to hunt that down. That is brought up in one of these videos, and I might just be able to find it in a separate video altogether.
Honestly, I feel like we should wrap this up, because this has almost been an hour and 30 minutes, half an hour. So we should probably
it's up to you
wrap
guys
it
how long
up,
you want this to go.
and maybe we can do a part 2.
Well, I mean, again, we're never gonna have to worry about that, because again, this isn't gonna be our first one, but not our first one, our last one. But yeah, I'll see if I can find that tour shirt later on. But yeah, so basically the shirt mentions several places she was going to hit on tour. The last one being Florida, USA, because it was meant to tie into Spring Broken. So yeah, there are definitely cities in each of the major rings.
I'm just hoping we have more episodes with Luna involved.
Yeah, again, episode 8 was supposed to be potentially a very Luna-centric episode, but we're gonna talk about episode 8 right now, because we've made so many goddamn allusions to it. We might as well handle that right now before we go back to handling the other.
Might as well do it.
Yeah. So basically, episode 8. The reason why we haven't seen it yet is apparently some kind of a copyright issue came up that is right now preventing that from being released to the public. Apparently it's finished, but we don't know the exact issue. Now, Madrano has stated on the official, I think it's either her Twitter or the official Twitter for the show, that at some point we are supposed to see this episode. But they've said right now there's some kind of copyright issue that is preventing it. And that's led to a couple of theories. Some have suggested that the reason this was going to be such a problem initially was that they were possibly going to have a character from Hazbin Hotel pop up who wasn't just a one-off design, because we've had a couple of those pop up here and there in Helluva Boss, and they're usually just little blink and you miss it moments. The other theories I've heard are that they were going to do a cover of a song which had a video set to it by Madrano called Die Young by Keisha. And curiously enough, that particular video, which was done a couple of years back, well before this was before Hazbin or Boss were even a thing, that has either been taken down or it's just been listed private. The other thing I've heard is that a character from that video that supposedly Madrano had bought the rights to might have some other issues with being used in this other show, i.e. Helluva Boss, that we just don't know anything about yet. Again, they have stated at some point we're getting episode 8, which was supposed to be part 2 of the season 1 finale, but personally, I'll believe it when I see it. I generally tend to think of this as the lost episode of Helluva Boss. Now, again, she has said that episode 7 is effectively the true season finale. Episode 8 was just something that she was going to do for a little bit of fun and possibly a little bit more Luna heavy episoding.
Except
that is why, for those of you who've been wondering why we went from part 1 of season 1 finale to suddenly getting season 2 episode 1, that's why.
Yeah, maybe it'll be season 2 episode 2.
Well, no, the thing she said that's going to be dropped as a special. So she's calling it a special episode. We don't know when it's going to be released. We don't know, what's going to be in it. We don't know if they've got to go back and make changes. So this way it's not going to piss off anybody about, whatever the hell copyright issue was causing the problem. We have no idea.
When it's like production's not easy to deal with.
Right. Well, because like it was done. It was in the can. It was ready to go, and the problem was that they've been fighting this legal battle over whatever the hell it is that was causing problems for them to release episode 8. Now, she, again, in the post that she did, she has promised we're getting that episode at some point as a special. Now, again, if this is just an issue of a song, then they probably just need to go back and reanimate that one section. And I have a hard time believing it's the song, just because every single episode that has had a song is one that is completely original to the show. So I am more inclined to believe that if it has anything to do with characters, that it's either the issue with the character that was in the original Die Young video that she did, or that it might indeed have been a character potentially popping up who was supposed to have been from Has Been. Now, again, we can't confirm or deny anything on that because all we've got are rumors and hearsay. So we may find out what's going on there, we may not.
So basically, it's all just noise.
At this point, as far as episode 8 is concerned, yeah, everything we've got is just speculation, so it's just white noise at this point.
Alrighty.
And,
So there's that. So that
no
brings us
reference
to
Seamus. His move white
yeah. So
noise.
that brings us to episode 5, I think we were on.
Yeah, maybe.
think.
But like I said, we should probably wrap up the stream because it's like almost like I think it's already been 1 hour and 30 minutes.
1 hour.
I mean, if you guys want to, that's fine. But I mean,
Yeah, but it's just
I
like
thought
it's
we
like
could keep going.
Shadow wanted like the video to only be like 30 to 60 minutes long.
Well, yeah, that was before I decided to change it up and just.
Yeah, I mean,
go
it's
as
like
long as we
at this
can.
point, I would just say just let it go as long as we've got stuff to talk about, and
Yeah.
because like there's so much stuff here that even if we do decide to wrap it up, it's not like we're gonna run out of things to talk about, especially since we do have that second season has just launched and everything else. So
Yeah.
like, as long as we get stuff to talk about, I say we keep going.
But hopefully, Has Been.
It's just like I got other stuff to do, and I don't want to like miss out on more of the discussion.
Well, all right, well, let me put it this way, guys. Our Warios have been kind of quiet here, so
Yeah, let's
like,
go
Say.
you guys want to call it here, and we can come back and do another one of these later on, or what do you want to do?
I guess sure, why not? Let's do it tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow we can talk about our favorite characters and stuff.
Well, it won't be tomorrow. It'll be in the near future.
Yeah,
It probably won't be tomorrow, but we could probably do something on Sunday.
Yeah, like what?
No.
Yeah, we'll figure it out, and we'll get something set up, and we'll go from there. I think did we lose Rosary? Because like he's been quiet this entire time.
Oh yeah, he's been
the entire
muted.
series.
He did what now?
He's
been
watching the Helluva Boss series.
Oh.
He's watching it while we're talking. Good lord!
Yep.
Well, that's a good way to spend time if I use these on my
That
phone.
is dedication, my friend.
Yes, yeah, no, it's like so. Somebody's gonna have to let him know that we're probably wrapping this up then, because like if you guys want to wrap it up,
Maybe like can someone like DM him? Maybe he'll get the message.
Shadow, give him a poke there, because like
Oh, sure thing. Give me 1 second.
Yeah,
I'm
'cause
just
we're-
messaging
we're-
my
I was-
Sonic.
Yeah, ping
I
him.
was gonna send them the DM, but okay, Shadow can do it.
Yeah, because
so
I'm multitasking.
but yeah, no, I mean like at the very least, let's just wrap up on episode 5. So let's discuss episode 5 before. Actually, why don't we go to episode 6 and then we'll go from and then we'll wrap up there. Does that sound good to you guys?
Yes.
Yeah, sounds
Yeah,
good.
okay.
Sounds good.
So we got
But
So episode 5 again, we got to learn a little bit more about some of the things that happened. We got Stolas, having to do this ceremony at the Harvest Moon Festival in the Ring of Wrath. We know that there's what do they call it? The Pain Games, which was hilarious. Apparently Blitz is a lot more athletic and skilled than we first gave him credit for, because I mean, let's be honest, with the way the guy acts, you would expect him not to be that accomplished, and yet he is really a pretty athletic individual, and he ties with Striker. He ties out with Striker.
And also,
gets elbow dropped by a shark.
Oh god, yeah, the fucking shark was hilarious.
Dude, I fucking laughed my ass off when The
It's
shark pull up with the elbow drop became the next Macho Man Randy Savage.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean that does kind of come out of nowhere.
But also,
Oh,
not to mention,
yeah.
just to mention something from the fandom. Not to mention, like, there's a lot of people that ship with like Striker with Blitzo or Blitz.
That is something
goodness.
that is something we should discuss at some point, is the shipping, because that's all
I
over
feel
the
like
place.
we should discuss
I
it
am
in
not
like
the kind of person to discuss ships.
Yeah,
like the
shipping
next
can be
stream.
you
weird.
don't necessarily have to worry about it, Dorito. Again, like this is probably something we're going to bring up next time anyway. But
like maybe we should like discuss like the rest of the how the show is
oh god, yeah,
like with the
like,
next stream, and then we would talk about all like the fan stuff.
yeah. I mean, at this point, it's like it's pretty. So again, getting back to episode 5, we have Striker. You know, he's about to take the shot on Stolas. Blitz discovers him. So meanwhile, Millie and Moxie are still in that goddamn cellar. Moxie gets loose and all, but I mean, we find out that it's like when Blitz and Striker throw down, they're evenly matched, which is pretty impressive. And that we do get that when we see them tie in the pain games. So that's kind of it. And that I almost forgot about this. Now we don't know what ring Striker is from. Now he does act like a typical Western cowboy, and again, considering the kind of accent Millie has, this could put him as another Wrath Ring imp. But he's
like he has a more different design than
like,
the
orange?
average imp.
He's
Yeah,
like a pale orange
he's
or
like-
like a sickly green.
Well, from what I see him, he's more depicted as like, I don't know, like a snake, like a rattlesnake.
Yeah,
that's
like, sort of like a
definitely.
snake.
No, I'm talking about this. I'm talking about his skin color, because for the most part, most of the imps we've seen so far are red.
But he's
No.
like a pale red orange.
Yes, I like because that's why I said initially like a pale orange or a very sickly green. Now I have some issues with colors myself, but I mean, just like
like a pale mix of like red orange with like a
because
tint
people
of green.
people were
Or
saying
it could be like some of the lighting because why he's green. But like the thing is though is like I don't know what type of imp he is, or if there's like different types of imps throughout Hell.
I think there is, because when you get to like episode 7, we get to the lust ring and we see imps with wings. So yeah, I do think there are different imps.
I mean, obviously, like most of the
Right,
main civilians, quote unquote, in the lust ring are mostly succubi, like male succubuses, female succubuses, and like
hang on. A female succubus is just a succubus. A male succubus is called an incubus.
yeah.
Interesting.
So yeah.
Fuck, I forgot that.
It's fine.
Yeah, you're talking to somebody who's basically
to forget sometimes.
Yeah, you're talking to somebody who's basically a font of useless knowledge. But anyway, so again, there definitely are more likely to be different types of imp just based on the fact that we've seen. So we know that Blitz is not from Wrath. He's flat out said he's never really been there on any extended level. I mean, he does briefly go there for like horse riding lessons, according to him and Veroska in episode 3, but he's not native. He's not native to the area. We know that Striker potentially could be native, but he's definitely different from the types of imp that we know to be on Millie's farm, because again, they're all the typical red imp. We also know that one of Millie's family is trans, which is kind of interesting. And in fact,
is it her big sister?
I'm not sure which one of them is older. They might be around the same age, but yes, Sally Mae is the one you're thinking of. And Sally Mae,
I fucking knew it.
As I understand it, Sally Mae is in fact played by a trans woman.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. So, by the way, one thing you can tell, like with an imp, the male imps have large horns that have large patterns of black and white across them, whereas female imps, at least if they're biologically female, have black horns with small white rings. So there is a big difference there. Sally Mae has the standard male imp horns, but is definitively treated as female. So yeah, she is trans.
Oh, I never fucking. I'm so dumb.
Oh boy.
Also,
Yeah.
are we
Don't
gonna
call
talk
yourself
about
dumb
the
for
fact
not
that
knowing knowledge.
sometimes imps have like
Hey,
white spots in them?
Welcome
Which-
back, Rosary.
Oh,
Welcome back,
hi!
Rosary.
Can we all
I'm
agree
alive.
that Luna needs a hug? Imagine if Luna
I
just
was
had one hug.
I was thinking about what when Luna was talking to Tex, and I was hoping, and I was wondering how that would go. And I remember after rewatching the episode that Tex said he had a girlfriend, and I thought,
Yes,
"Oh, Luna, I feel so
Poor
bad for
Luna.
you."
I
Yeah,
felt so bad.
honestly, it's like
Poor
Luna is one of
Looney.
those characters. Like I've said this before, that girl just fucking needs a friend. And ironically enough, she fucking confirms it in episode 3 that she has no friends.
Aww.
And not
Which
only
is
that,
disturbing.
That's sad.
but she literally called Blitz dad at least once, even if by
She
accident.
almost did. She almost did.
Yeah,
We did discuss this. I mean, like you've kind of missed out on the entire discussion because I don't know where the hell you went, dude.
He
He
wants to
was
go watch
watching
it.
all the episodes because
Sorry,
he's
I was charging my
dedicated.
phone. It was my phone was literally almost dead.
That
you
is
can talk
highly
to it while you're
understandable.
charging your phone, though.
But,
I do it all the time.
If any of us would get a chance, if Luna would let us, we would all give her a hug.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Although,
anyways,
Yeah,
I
probably would.
I try to keep talking to you guys when there's no one else around, and I try not to involve my little sisters or my parents. Cause
we had that. We had to
That's
do
fine.
that.
Anyway,
a couple
so
times.
Anyways, just to get back on what I was trying to talk about, aren't we gonna like discuss about like all the like how imps sometimes have like white spots on them or like
that's been brought up. Actually, there is a theory that went up on Twitter that the white spots are scar tissue, and whoever put this up might have been very close to the truth because Vivian Madrano, the show creator, liked the post. So this might be legitimate.
Because I wouldn't blame them if they think it's scars because if you take
Blitz might be living proof of it
try
because
to time skip the whole like process through the series. When Blitz was younger, he hadn't had any scars on him or like any white spots whatsoever until he got older and there was like this huge one on his face.
Yeah, and we know he's got a couple of others along his body as well, including one that he picked up in episode 1. Because he picks up that one, he actually does have a new scar on his body as a result of being shot by Martha through the arm during the events of the first episode. Because if you look at the pilot, he does not have any injury on his upper right arm. Now he's got a lot of scar tissue around his hands. Obviously got that massive one on his face and some on his legs. So yeah, he has definitely picked up a lot of scars in his life. But yeah, that is a prevailing theory, and Madrano has not contradicted. And the fact that she liked the post means we're probably very close to the truth on that one. So yeah, that's a thing. But again, that's something we're going to have to wait and see if they do officially confirm. But I mean, at this point, that's as close to confirmation as we've gotten. So that brings us now, we've just finished up basically episode 5. So that brings us to the one that I know a lot of people want to talk about, including Ruby, episode 6.
Yes! Come on. Get set up.
This episode, up until episode 8, was the one that took the longest between the previous episode and the release of episode 6. Episode 6 took about 4 months, maybe 4.5, to be released. And
the channel's on there's choice of 2 games.
Shadow, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. What the hell are you talking about?
20 minutes. Well, I'm talking with some people now.
What was that?
Should I do
Shadow?
one?
Huh?
He's
Whose
hiding?
footsteps are these?
Sorry, guys. That was my grandmother. Sorry.
What was
That
that?
Oh,
sounded.
okay.
She was asking about
I
the
thought we were.
baseball game or something.
I thought we were just having questionable reactions.
Sorry.
So I was
Yeah,
just
okay.
reacting.
That
I
was
thought
nice.
he was hiding a
Reaction
body.
like,
I honestly thought for some reason I thought he was doing something regarding like a Marlon Brando impression for whatever fucking reason.
Wait.
I thought that
I didn't know I could do a
I
Marlon
thought that
Brando.
shadow over here was gonna hide a body or something.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway,
sorry about that.
So that brings us to episode 6, Truth Seekers. Now, Truth Seekers has some interesting things in it. Now, the first few minutes we see of the episode, we don't really know that, what we're seeing like all this footage. Dorito,
What happened now?
turn on your noise suppression or something because we can hear you clicking keys.
I'm not. I'm on a phone. What are you talking about?
I don't know. Something was clicking over by you.
Wait, piano?
Because you were the one lighting up.
Oh. You're. Huh? Oh
Anyway.
yeah, probably my sister talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I already turned it on.
Anyways.
So Truth Seekers, we see all this early, we saw this footage from previous episodes, and then we get to see an image that has never been shown before, supposedly depicting the first sighting of Blitz and company, and we find out that this surveillance footage was taken by a group, and I'm laughing at this the entire time. They're basically a parody of the Men in Black, and they're called Dorks.
And then anyway,
wait, they were based off of the Men in Black.
Look at the way they're dressed, and tell me they're not inspired by the Men in Black.
Well,
I'm surprised that you didn't even notice that sooner.
Wait a minute. I thought these guys were supposed to be based off a government agency, not
that's what the Men in Black
alien
are.
agency.
No.
Yes, I know, but I thought they were.
Wait. Stop. The Men in Black were not originally just a thing about aliens or anything like that. The idea of the term Men in Black was originally a phrase used for members of the Secret Service, the FBI, the CIA, because they always wore very nondescript suits, often black.
Well, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, though. They specialized in like securing like alien or
the
like
Men in Black.
Alien and foreign tech, not just alien tech.
That's a comic book turned movie.
Alien life form.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, like the original Men in Black characters from Marvel Comics that were later adapted to film and TV series have nothing to do with this. When I say the Men in Black,
they have a TV series?
Yeah, I'm assuming you've never seen the cartoon. I'm assuming you've never seen the cartoon, but yeah.
No, dude, the cartoon is good.
Yeah,
It's
again,
really
guys, off topic there. Yeah, so basically, the whole idea is that these two particular agents, known as Agent 1 and Agent 2, they don't have actual names yet. We haven't seen original names given to them. Actually encounter Imp, I guess, either just after having finished a job or in the middle of one. And they try to take down Moxie with a net gun. And Blitz manages to basically get him out of the line of harm's way and literally tells Luna, close the portal. And
God, that was emotional. That was an emotional episode.
At least Luna was very interactive in episode 6.
So I mean that's a whole thing. And Jayse, you are so fucking late, man. We're like
we're already an hour in.
Yeah,
an hour ago, man.
Like, where have you been, brother?
Yeah, exactly. You've been camping or something?
Yeah.
God, I hate it when my dad calls me. I hate it.
He called you and chewed your ear off for 2.5 hours? We've been trying to get a hold of you since fucking 8 o'clock, man.
Exactly.
Speaking of which, it's already 8 o'clock my time.
Well, yeah, it's like it's like 10:30 here, so.
Yeah.
Eggman.
Yeah,
it's 10:30.
So, all right, so Jayse, give everybody a quick rundown of who you voice, because we've all done some introductions
and also
here
what
today.
your name is. Well, not your real name.
Hey everybody, Shadow Pines here, and I voice Infinite the Jackal and Dr. Eggman in for Shadow here.
Yeah. So yeah,
Uh,
Jayse. So we basically.
Can I just say something real quick?
Can we stop you?
yeah,
No,
Go
I was
ahead.
just
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I
Go
was
ahead.
just saying, I think it's really sad what they did to Infinite immediately after Forces was over. I don't think
Very
that
off
Infinite.
topic, but
We can talk about
I
Forces
know.
another day.
I was just saying. I don't think Infinite deserved to just die off out of nowhere. I just
What?
wanted to put that thought out there.
Yeah.
We can talk about this at the end of the stream.
Or we can talk about it
Yeah,
at a different stream. Sonic Forces
yeah, but
related.
basically, so we've been just you've missed a lot of discussion, dude. We've been covering pretty much like everything up to episode 5. We just started discussing episode 6. So I mean, we're not like going hyper in depth, but you know, we've been doing like some basic discussions. So next
My
time,
favorite episode so far. My favorite episode so far is 6.
yeah.
By the way,
So
Dude,
yeah, next time, Jayse, just tell your dad you've got stuff to do. Please get off the phone. Well, anyway, so
I don't have a phone.
then how did he call you?
Shouted my name.
Oh,
Makes sense.
okay, that's nothing.
He's saying, Jayse, get here. Let's talk about some
that
stuff.
ever?
Anyways,
Yeah. Anyway, so
Yeah,
we're
I'm
just
back on
topic.
all right,
topic.
guys. Yeah, all right. So getting back on the
We even
topic.
have one.
So yes, we have a topic. So we get to the point where Luna closes up the portal. Blitz and Mox get taken prisoner by dorks. And that is still funny. And the thing is, it's actually spelled DHORKS. We don't know what it stands for though. Although the weird thing is, and I don't remember where I heard this, but apparently drop the S and it is literally the scientific term for whale balls.
Oh my
geez.
god.
It is literally the term for whale dick.
Oh man, I'm never gonna get that out of my head forever.
Wait, what? Wait,
Yeah,
what
I'm
happened?
not sure if it's real though. I just remember hearing that somewhere.
I hope that's not real. Otherwise,
Wait, what?
I have a
happened?
lot of questions if that's real. A lot of questions I can't write down right now.
So basically, Millie and Luna go on a rescue mission. It's the second time we get to see Luna in her human form, and interestingly enough,
She is cute. Human form cute.
Yes, she's cute. She's cute in either form, but it's kind of interesting to note that she might gain some height in that other form.
Wait,
oh yeah,
Luna.
Luna.
Because in her human form, she seems to be taller than she is in her Hellhound form. Because, like, she's almost 3 heads taller than Millie.
Mm-hmm.
So,
also, can we speaking of Millie,
meanwhile, hang on. One second. In her Hellhound form, she's barely a head taller than Millie, but in human form, she's almost 2 full heads taller. That's kind of interesting. So, what were you saying?
Can we talk about how sad it was to see Millie crying about her husband being taken away by some fucking jackasses?
The sad thing is that's kind of amusing, just because she kept getting higher and higher pitched.
Yep.
When she was pounding on the wall there, it's like, but I mean, I get it, because again, you got to remember they're like the wholesome, cute couple of the show. So I will say this.
I just wanted to say that I think it's hilarious how Dork as an agency seems so powerful, but then when Imp encounters them formally and starts rescuing everybody,
we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Oh,
actually,
sorry.
So it's like, because we were just about to get into that. So they find the building, and basically Blitz and Mox just spend like 10 minutes. I mean, probably more than 10 minutes, but like we only get to see like maybe 3 or 4 minutes of it grand total. Just dicking with these guys. I mean,
Wow,
literally,
where
it's
did
like,
you
I
get
mean,
that
Moxie
from,
alone,
Booty?
like with that fucking coffee order.
Yeah,
That,
was
yeah.
weird.
that
too.
is so fucking
And
hilarious.
you,
It's
and
Other
like,
you
people
use
say
that
Yeah,
line
that was
loosely.
funny.
yeah, and then it's like,
Yeah.
and then there's like Blitz, who's just slinging out innuendos left, right, and center, and he's like, because I love that one line is like, because after like Moxie mentions that he starts calling out Agent 2 about the whole thing where she says like that they're willing to resort to torture to get the answers they want, and Moxie's like, yeah, but you're talking like physical or psychological, because you couldn't really take anything for granted that we say, because we'd probably tell you anything if it meant an end to the pain. And then Blitz says, oh, and or worse, we might like it, and then you got a whole other set of problems. And one is like, what do you mean? And then Blitz looks at him and is like, oh, you're stupid. I can work with that daddy likey dummy.
Which obviously Brandon Rogers really pulled that off.
Oh yes, he's good. He's good.
Brandon Rogers.
Oh god, it's like, and again, and then you get like,
Jamie.
and I have to admit, Moxie gets off an absolutely awesome one-liner on his own, where he basically says, he basically calls out both agents. He's like, you've had us tied up for what, hours, and you haven't even bothered to have us confirm what we are. And she was like, what are you? And then he looks at it and goes, I'm a Virgo.
I'm a
Virgo.
I mean, that is one of the few times I've ever heard him get off an absolutely great zinger. That is honestly one of the best lines we've ever had out of Moxie.
Zingers are always funny.
Yeah, I mean, and usually it's Blitz or Luna, and occasionally Millie who gets in the best one-liners. But I mean, the fact that he set that up and got the punchline, I mean, that's a win for Moxie right there. I mean, that is absolutely a win.
I'm just glad nobody got punched.
Yep.
And then we got.
I just wanted to say that for how tough the dorks were represented, it's really hilarious how easy the rescue kind of is.
Yeah,
considering you'd think with how well they portrayed the agency that they would have been
Luna and Millie are
in a
basically
gunfight for hours.
Yeah, it's like Luna and Millie are basically just cutting through these guys. They get in through the vents, or rather Millie does. And again, this is why I'm very surprised at the height difference in her human form compared to her Hellhound form. Because again, she's only maybe like half a head taller than the group in Hellhound form, whereas in human form, she is tall enough that Millie is basically riding around in a backpack with her, which, you know, and she's got like a fucking axe. It's like 3 times both of their size.
Well, here's the thing. Hellhounds, some of them can be depicted as like bigger dogs, or like
Luna's
like
straight
about
up wolf.
as tall as the average human. But
Right.
like for imps, obviously they're imps. They're pretty fucking tiny.
Right.
But
Well,
here's the
and-
thing:
and
human heights
that
can have a weird depiction with how their demonic forms are.
Well, even then they're inconsistent with the height of the gang here, because you look at Lyle Lipton and Loopty Goopty. I mean, they are literally almost they're like Blitz is right up to his fucking chest, if not his lower jaw. You know.
Well,
so,
some of them can be like about the exact same height as if they died, because those are earthbound sinners.
Well, no, because again, you got to remember, Lyle Lipton was still human when they went up to try to convince him to kill himself. Well, because they were originally going to off him, and then it's like he's already trying to kill himself. So when Cherub tries to convince him not to do that, we find out that he's basically the same basic height, you know, in human form. But again,
well, here's the thing: for like earthbound sinners and like hell creatures that are, you know, that were born from hell, they can have different height depictions in their like human form when they go to Earth.
Right. What I'm saying,
which probably could be
no. Hang on. No, you got to remember. I'm talking about when Loopty shows up at Imp headquarters in episode 4. Blitz is almost level with his lower jaw, and Loopty was not exactly a small dude. All right, and Lyle was still alive, throughout most of that episode, and Blitz was depicted as basically being around his height. Now, again, they're very inconsistent with the height of the imps, just because I think that's just meant for the comedy. So either way. Because, I mean, for God's sakes, Blitz is depicted as being as tall as Martha in episode 1. So that's that whole thing. But
wait, like the teacher?
No, Martha, the woman they were sent up to kill in episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, that bitch.
Yeah, she and Blitz are depicted as being the exact same height.
Mhm.
Yes,
No.
yes,
Ugh.
yes. She is basically the same height because remember, she is right next to Ralphie, and she's maybe half a head smaller than he is. Ralphie's the one tying Blitz up to that fucking stake, and Blitz comes up to his lower jaw.
Mhm.
So so Blitz and Martha are the same fucking height. But so again, but then it's like you get into the actual fight with the agents when Luna and Millie break. Before we even get to that, we've got to discuss.
Why are you counting? Someone's counting.
Yeah, whoever's counting, stop counting. Anyway,
or at least mute, please.
Yeah, please. So before we get into the actual fight, we've got to cover the fucking hallucinations.
I never quite
And
understood the
I knew
hallucination.
this was the part. I knew this was the part that Ruby was waiting for because she's been she's been going on about this. She's been going on about this pretty much since we started, and I don't blame her because Moxie's drug trip on this when he's on the truth serum is probably one of the best animated things I've seen in the show. I mean, this thing felt like it could have been animated by old school Disney.
But like, here's the thing though, it had like when he was tripping balls, he was like fucking it was like Phantom of the Opera theme.
Well, again, and that makes sense because he happens to be a big time fan of Phantom of the Opera. This is established. He has chords. If you listen to episode 5 when his cell phone goes off while he and Millie are asleep and Blitz wants to find out if they want to go to the Harvest Moon Festival, those are bars from Phantom of the Opera when Moxie's phone goes off in that episode.
But like, what song? Like the actual song?
I don't know.
Phantom of the Opera?
It's all I know is all I know is it's something from Phantom, because that was brought up on TV Tropes, and they point out that it is from Phantom. They also mention in episode 3, because remember, Millie even says this when she asks Blitz what sex with Verosika was like. Moxie gets absolutely, scandalized, and she's like, "You'd want to know what sex with Michael Crawford was like," and that is the guy who starred in Phantom of the Opera.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and remember, Moxie is bi, just so you know.
Mm-hmm. He's my favorite bicon.
Yeah, basically, Moxie is bisexual. We know Blitz is theoretically bisexual as well because he's dated Verosika and he's dated Luna. He may have also dated Fizzarati.
Luna's his daughter.
Wait, excuse me? He
No, I
dated
said
his own
Verosika and Stolas.
Oh, right.
Open your ears, Jayse. Yeah. No, I'm not talking about... I'm not
First you said Luna.
No, I said he's dated Verosika and he's dated Stolas.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
anyways, but for some fans, he is depicted as pansexual.
Which to me is like, I don't really understand how that's any different from bisexual.
Actually, I am a pansexual myself, so it is a bit different. But like when you're bisexual, I'm gonna give you a little like lesson in sexuality real quick.
Let's not, because again, that's off topic. That was something we'll deal with when we're talking about the shipping section.
And that could be
when we're talking about shipping, then we'll get into that kind of thing if you really want. But again, the hallucinations were absolutely phenomenal. And this, by the way, is part of why it took so long to get episode 6 out, because as I understand it, in addition to their regular animation studio Spindlehorse, they had 3 other studios helping them out with this because they had 3 different other animation styles. You had the one style for Moxie's hallucination, you had the other one for Blitz, and then you had a third style for that big fight at the end. So you literally had 4 different animation styles in one episode, and that's why it took as long as it did to come out.
I actually think the picture that we have for like the stream is what I think of it is like it's probably based off of episode 6.
I have no idea. I think this was just something done by a fan.
Yeah, I found it on
by a
Google.
fan,
this is like the kind of thing you'd probably find on like Pixiv or DeviantArt or Fur
'Cause
Affinity.
It says cookies on the left corner, so I guess that's the
so
artist that
it's
made
someone. It's from a fan.
That is the artist, I think, who did it. So
Yep.
yeah.
Like I said, I looked up on
But
Google.
I mean, either way, this is absolutely a gorgeous piece of artwork. And whoever Cookies 7 is, I mean, this was a great piece of art, and we're glad you put it out there because this makes for a great little thing for us to use when we're discussing Helluva Boss. So, but yeah, so then so again, the first thing that I want to bring was like the hallucination from Moxie seems more like it's him coming to terms with the fact that he needs to be more direct and open with Blitz. And he starts kind of doing that, which is like, this is the first time we've ever heard him just basically rip Blitz to shreds. I mean, he's had arguments with him in the past, but this is literally just him shredding the guy in song.
Yeah, what was up with that?
Yeah, and again, like the whole opera thing was phenomenal. I was like,
yeah,
and that is not Brandon Rogers singing for Blitz in that particular. I don't know who it is. I don't remember off the top of my head. It's probably in the credits at the end of the episode, but whoever it was absolutely phenomenal for that. Then you've got Blitz's hallucination, and this is something that I don't know how many people actually noticed, but most of the characters in Blitz's hallucination are being voiced by Blitz in his own head.
Wow.
That is literally that is something I hadn't even really thought about until I watched it like the second or third time around. But that is literally Blitz pretty much voicing everybody in his own head, with I think the exception of Moxie. So I mean that's a whole weird thing. And like Moxie's going from the kind of like scribbling art style that Blitz normally does to the more standard style that we see in the show was kind of a nice little treat. And then they come out of it. And honestly, I thought they had a really interesting little moment there where Mox is like, do you remember what you said to me when I first joined the company? And that leads to a rather interesting little exchange there, which gives us a little bit more insight into both characters. And I loved how at the end of that whole exchange, Mox is like, thanks, sir. And Blitz is like, you know my name, use it. It's like, this is one of the first times he's ever really told Moxie, just go ahead and call me by name. Because I mean, because one of the things we know about Blitz is he does consider the entire team basically family. Now Luna is his family by adoption, but he also considers Millie and Moxie to be family as well. So him actually just saying, use my name, is kind of a nice little touch. And then we get the rescue.
Yep.
The rescue.
Rudy! Yep. Millie drops in from the ceiling. I don't know why the hell she did that, but okay. And then Luna just comes out of nowhere, smashing through the window where the agents 1 and 2 are. I don't know why she didn't just beat the shit out of them, but okay.
He should have.
Don't bother asking.
Yeah, and then she transformed back to her Hellhound form, and again, she's not that much taller than the imps in her regular form, which is really kind of interesting.
But
so I don't know if that's her being off model or what. But then we get the actual fight, and that is probably the single most animated fight they've had in the show, and they've had some decent fights.
Mm-hmm.
But
Dude, the
the
fight
funny thing is,
is good. It represents all the characters very well in their fighting
yeah.
styles and stuff.
oh yeah, and the funny thing is, Luna is the best fucking fighter in the group. Has anybody?
Yep.
She's literally
Oh
got.
yes. Oh yes.
She's basically a martial artist, right?
Yeah.
So you
Like a
got
little Bruce Lee.
maybe. So we got Luna is the martial artist. We've got Millie as basically the melee fighter, who's more about just getting to chop people up.
Moxie's basically
Moxie is their,
gunsman.
yeah, he is he's their shooter. In fact, he's actually a very well trained sniper, from what I've been told.
Yeah,
And then,
he's a mark.
Then Blitz, the all rounder.
Yeah, he pretty much is basically the jack of all trades. He does a little bit of everything. And
Yeah,
again,
the basic bitch boy of the group.
well, no, he's probably, because he is the all-rounder, he's probably the most balanced fighter of the group, because he does pretty much, he can do everything. He doesn't necessarily excel at any one thing, but when you put him up as like, which is the best overall fighter, who would be the best in any situation, it's going to be Blitz, because the other three are more specialized. Now, Luna can use firearms. We've seen that.
Yep.
But she does seem to prefer to get up close and personal with her fangs and claws.
Well, yeah.
Millie loves blades. She loves her knives. She loves her fucking axes. I mean, she's got that giant ass one that she was using in that episode.
You just gotta say axe, and then you'll immediately know what she.
Yeah, she's the axe chick. She's axe crazy, you know. She's axe crazy, you know.
She gets that axe out. You know you're in trouble.
She's like that Montana character that's just uses the
Yeah,
charge.
be careful. You might get the axe's edge.
Shut up.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, and then, like I said, I mean, Moxie is the marksman. He's basically he's absolutely obsessed with guns. I mean, for God's sakes, look at how much fucking look at how much firepower he was able to hide under a trench coat in episode 4. That boy ain't right.
No, he's not right. No.
That boy ain't right, man. It's like,
I mean, he's got revolvers.
I mean, like it got to the point that even, it honestly got to the point that even Blitz was looking a little concerned. He's like, dude, really? I mean, like, if you had a fucking crossbow that was lit on fire.
Oh, sign me up! I would love to use a crossbow that would fire on it.
Yeah, it's like, again, like Moxie is crazy prepared when it comes to firearms. It's really weird. Of course, it's the same guy who brought morphine to a goddamn theme park.
Eesh.
But yeah,
my favorite part in episode 2 was when
that was episode 2. It was like he freaking pulled out a bunch of meds.
When Luna's only line literally came up.
Yeah. That is the only episode so far she has not appeared in and only been heard vocally.
Yep.
So then we get to, like, they had like this great big throwdown, and then it seems like they're pulling this one last big shot to try to keep the group there, and then Stola shows up in his full demon form. I mean, that whole segment was just gorgeous. Yes. It was absolutely
little baby.
Yeah, I was like, it is crazy. Like, and it is absolutely stunning. It is probably one of the best visuals we've seen so far.
Really stunning.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely amazing. And then and Blitz honestly asked the questions like, how did you know we needed help? And he's like, yeah, I have my ways, darling. Yeah, and it's like, and I really think it probably has something similar to do with the way he was scrying on Blitz in episode 1. It might not have been necessarily in the bathtub, but you know, he might have been using a mirror or something. Either way, and then you know they take off and they think everything's taken care of, because it's like nobody's gonna take these guys at their word. They're complete idiots. Then it turns out that they've been on camera the whole fucking time.
You know,
awkward.
So, I mean, that
Seven
was
fan club isn't all that stupid, you know?
that was a really nice twist. Now, here's the thing, though, because the problem I have with this is this footage was taken in their headquarters. But at the same time, we know that the Agents of Dork had video footage of the Imp crew before this. And they're saying this is supposed to be the evidence that will get them taken seriously, the whole fight they just had in their HQ. Why would their previous footage not have had that same effect? Why would they not have been taken seriously with those earlier pieces of video footage? That is a plot hole I don't understand. And the other thing is, by the way, did anybody else notice that they referenced corporate
Oh.
in that? So it's like, so are they actually, because Moxie thinks that they're dealing with the human government, but if they're talking about corporate, are they maybe some kind of subdivision of like a business company or something? Because I mean that is kind of
It's possible.
It's like, yeah, why else would they be talking about corporate? I mean, if they were just talking about, headquarters or something else, that would have been one
They
thing.
might be like a division in like demonology and like
Yeah, but then why would it
supernatural.
be considered corporate?
So it might be they're talking about their headquarters or something like that.
I don't think so. Simply because, I mean, again, if you're talking about corporate, then you wouldn't they have just said headquarters? 'Cause, I mean, again, it's just really weird. So it's like I don't know, but they do leave a sequel hook open here, and we know from one of the Q&A sessions that the voice actress for Agent 2, and by the way, her getting possessed by Stolas was like fucking awesome, by the way.
Yeah.
But that was a whole thing. But she has stated that she is coming back for at least another episode in season 2. So there is going to be some repercussions for them being discovered, or rather for them having this footage. So that's going to be very, very interesting to see.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that brings us up
Basically,
to episode
long story short, Dork is single-handedly probably the most dangerous in the Imp has to face.
We're gonna have to wait and see. We're gonna have to wait and see. Now, that basically just brings us to episode 7, and then season 2, episode 1. Now, if you guys wanna,
let's just leave it
finish
there.
this up, or if we wanna wait and come back to
We
this.
We can wait and do this in the next stream.
Okay, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I mean,
because we got a lot of other stuff to deal with. As well.
And we got other
Alright,
recordings and stuff I gotta do as well. And
that's
sleeping.
fine. All right, so then here's what we're gonna do, guys. We're gonna wrap this up, at least in terms of this particular stream, and next time we get together, whether we'll try to set a day, maybe this weekend, because if we can like get Sunday free or something, that'd be fine with me. I don't know. What about you guys?
I'll do it tomorrow.
After 4 o'clock.
I'm all good. I'm all for it.
I guess we can try 4 o'clock Sunday.
But I'm free on Sunday, I believe.
Okay, so I mean, if everybody else is free on Sunday, we'll try for a little bit earlier. I mean, we were originally going to do this at like 7 p.m., but stuff came up. But
which I am
either
sorry
way,
for.
so no worries, dude. It happens.
No
But
worries. We all have days
why
like
don't
that.
we shoot for this coming Sunday at 7, and we'll just go until we've got nothing else to discuss, or when we decide we want to wrap it up, same as we did this time.
Just a little heads up. On Sunday night at 10:30, I got something to do. So if we get them for 10:30, that would be great.
Well, if that's the case, why don't we aim for 6? This way, we're not going to be under a crunch.
Okay,
well, yeah, no one is going to be busy, especially me.
Yeah, so like,
but yeah, why don't we discuss this like after the stream?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. We'll figure that out after the stream. All right, so guys, we're wrapping this up. We thank you for joining us. If you happen to be here while we were doing the actual stream, if not, no worries. This is going to be up for people to see. We'll be able to enjoy this, and this won't be our last time discussing Helluva Boss, especially considering we've still got one episode left of season 1 to discuss. Then we're going to discuss season 2, episode 1. We'll probably have our own speculations about episode 8 again because it's it's going to be one of those things we're going to want to talk about.
Yeah.
And then
and also not to mention the shipping.
at that point we just be speculating what we might see.
It was fun to talk about.
Yeah, and then like I said, probably in the next stream after we get done with the roundup of the episodes, we'll probably start discussing stuff about the fandom in general, and then obviously if we get new episodes, we'll discuss those as well. So,
but those will be determined.
So, thanks again for everybody who came to watch, and to our panel of guests here. That's of course Shadow, Dorito, Jayse, Mr. Rosary, Ruby, and myself, Warwolf. So, and of course we had Ika and a few others pop in and out, and hopefully we'll have maybe a larger panel, but maybe not, and we'll just see where we go from there.
And don't forget to subscribe, click that like button. Make sure to turn on that notification bell to all notifications so that you'll never miss any of these events or any upcoming videos.
Absolutely. And if you have any comments about Helluva Boss that you'd like to have us take a look at, I mean, by all means, write in the comments any thoughts you have on the show, about the characters, plot holes, whatever. And we might take a look at them and might even address them in the next stream. 50-50
also, not to mention, if you have any questions about like anything like you guys want us to do for like any upcoming streams or videos, just don't forget to leave them in the comments, and we'll make sure to look at them.
We'll take a look at them. We won't promise anything because we don't want to get anybody's hopes up if we can't do something. But yeah I mean, any comments are always welcome. And again,
you'll maybe get a 60-40 chance that you'll get mentioned.
And stay tuned for those Sonic Rush streams too that we're doing as well.
Yeah, and don't forget to have a good night and sleep well.
And
take care, guys.
Yep,
take care, everyone.
Stay tuned for Thursday videos.
In the words of Ellen DeGeneres, take care and be kind to one another. Adios.
Yep.
Adios,
everyone. Bye.
Bye, everyone.